Improved way of communicating champion bugs coming in the future from Kabam. What keeps you motivated to play the game? Oh, and some positive news from Kabam again. Cancelled Alliance War bug. That's a bit of a nuisance going into a new season. Gifting event warning as restrictions might be getting worse. And also, Galan goes really high in arena, and we got some results for you. Good day everybody, welcome back to another edition of the MCN. This is your Monday edition, lots to go over. And make sure you're hitting the like button and subscribe with post notifications on all if you haven't done already, especially because there's probably going to be lots of infos and fun videos this week. Of course there is. And now let's get right into the action. Okay, war enlistment bug. There's several things that are a bit amiss at the moment, especially with Alliance Wars. And I don't know if Kabam ever answered as to what went on with the rating drop problem, as well as a couple of other things from last war season. But there is something that is causing a little bit of a nuisance, especially running into the new season, and that is war enlistment cancelled matchmaking bug. Now, for whatever reason, by the time I get this video out, it could be a case that it's fine. I mean, I'm enlisted for a war right now. Yes, I'm returning back to Alliance War. That's going to be the topic of a video later on this week. And yeah, so look, there's going to be people out there unable to get into a war that maybe want to get, like, you know, a first kind of like test of the season, get their kind of battle groups in line with how they kind of feel that the season's going to play out, or maybe kind of put in new players for rotation stuff, just the standard things that comes with Alliance War. As of yet, there's no update on this particular situation, but, you know, if this continues on, especially going into Wednesday, with the start of a new season, it's going to be very, very dire for those that want to get involved with it. So we'll see if there's any kind of like update of Kabam responding to this particular problem. Now on to rank down tickets and Daredevils Hells Kitchen, but something that kind of goes into another particular situation. Okay, so TLDR from this one is that there's been several problems pointed out about Daredevil in the past when it comes to like damage scale, how he wasn't doing as much damage, then he got fixed and was doing more damage than normal, but then got nerfed back to doing some like more in line with how the champion should function type damage. But still, there's other things pointed out when it comes to Daredevils Hells Kitchen, like a utility bug or a signature ability bug. But look, at the end of the day, go and read this. It's an interesting write-up by Rookie. It does bring a lot of things to mind. And I'm not purposely skipping over a lot of this. It's just that there's a lot of kind of breakdown and analysis, which I think would be kind of good for, you know, the player base to go and check out and see, and the links in the description. But in a nutshell, there are things pointed out that, yes, don't really kind of function quite well in the champion's kit, that maybe should be responding or kind of working right in the kit. The same way that, again, we kind of like bring to mind the Mole Man situation and the whole kind of topic of rank down tickets. But the main thing that came out of that Mole Man particular issue was communication. And something that I did mention in the whole kind of like coverage of this is that Kabam could do so much better with the forums and various other places to communicate what champions have outstanding bugs or fixes that will be fixed in time. But that, again, that comes into this particular read right here, where we've got Kabam Jack saying that first, this would be an exceptionally difficult case to make rank down tickets for, based on the situation of Daredevils Hell's Kitchen. And the Mole Man situation was because the bug went without confirmation for over a year and a half. But this is a situation where the bugs have existed short term, and we've been in constant communication about them. To a degree, but the problem is, like, not everybody sees the forum. Not everybody is kind of like goes into the game. A lot of people go into the game oblivious to things like the Venom Pool broken issue. Recently, the Overseer in Eternity of Pain issue. It was only that people went to the forums to go, oh yeah, by the way, he's auto-blocking through special attacks, which I think I had over the weekend, actually, funnily enough, when I did it. In any case, moving on though, back to the topic. Regardless, I've brought 3 points, so obviously the 3 points from the post, and also the final thing, which I think, again, this brings it to the most important, which is based on, I think QWERTY says this about like having a list of known issues being looked at in the way, shape or form. It really help people know what isn't known, which is, funny enough, it's something I said back a long time ago. They can provide additional information if needed, blah blah blah. Very good idea, and one of the things we may be working on, something we might have more information about soon, so that's good. There'll be more kind of reporting thing. The thing that annoys me about this, I kind of feel like a lot of the players that play this game end up like in some sort of roundabout way end up working for Kabam unpaid to kind of like give back sufficient information and as well kind of like, you know, find out what's going wrong with this stuff with the game. It's kind of a weird dynamic half the time, especially with, you know, a lot of other games that are kind of like, yes, bugs are found out, but a lot of the time it's the developer that does a lot of the kind of the legwork to kind of like, you know, get on top of this particular stuff, and having QA testers as well. I don't know if Kabam has QA testers. Yeah. Next up, and what motivates you to play the game? This is a really good idea. This is a poll that was put out by Kabam Jacks. So this is good. Whoever is allowing Kabam Jacks to have, like, you know, responsibility, kind of like allow them the power to do this, keep doing it, because this is what the stuff we need. We need this interaction with the community management team. We need people to kind of like, you know, come up with ideas, innovations, and search for innovations from player feedback. The most important thing when it comes to this game and its future is player feedback, and also you know, working on player feedback and making what player feedback is, that, you know, come to life. But look, what are people talking about? What's the most things that motivates them to play? Adding to and upgrading your champion roster? Yeah, okay. Overcoming challenge at endgame content? Yeah. Rewards. Give me that too. Yeah, absolutely. Give me that loot, sorry. Today, all that kind of like stuff as well. Monthly updates, new champions. I'm thinking it's for me. I'm more of a monthly like person. I like objectives. I like side quests. I like all that stuff because I think it's like, it's just like loads of little bits kind of add up, and they can like, it's not so time grindy, so you don't have to like sit down for an hour to 2 hours just to kind of like play it out and be like, you know, a social pariah because you know, ignore people and go, I need to play a Marvel swipe tap game. But in any case, right, there is some good news that comes from this, and it's nice as well to see like loads of feedback and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. And Kabam Jacks gets in the mix to say, thanks for sharing everyone so far. It's always cool to see the game through someone else's eyes. For me, it's all about champs. I love building up that roster. Like I said, we do have plans for new content in the works, and I can definitely use what you've shared to help guide that process. Because yeah, it's like, you know, what are players the most interested in, and what are they interested in most grab. For me, the most kind of anticipated piece of content is Act 8.1. I am excited to go back to a piece of content, the Grandmaster Gauntlet, which I enjoyed in the past, and I probably will do that in the next week or two. Again, about time. Time is very important to kind of go, okay, well, how much do you have time to do stuff in the game, but also, you know, a life? Because believe it or not, people have lives outside playing a Marvel swipe tap game at specific times of the day, based on things like alliance-based participation, content you've got to do, and the chasing of titles and units and things if you're free to play. But speaking of content coming to the game, speaking of grinding out units, speaking of free to play, all of those synergize very, very nicely for this, and that's all about the gifting event. As a lot of you know, I've been kind of like talking about preparing the gifting event and like units for it, because like, you know, people don't go a week before the gifting event in December and go, hey, here's a video about the gifting event to prepare for. You need thousands of units, because that's responsible, isn't it? No, it's not. So what is responsible is at least saying, look, here's some perspectives for you, what, 5-6 months out to prepare yourself to either go for a program of saving for Cyber Weekend and / or the gifting event. So that's why I've been doing some content. That's why you'll be seeing things in the future, like my second account, my my free-to-play account. Well, both accounts technically are kind of now free-to-play, but one is one I have spent in the past, and now I'm kind of non-spending, and the other one is completely non-spending. In any case, cut to the chase. A thread was opened up about the subject of the gifting event, and Kabam Jacks responded with something which I think is kind of got the heebie-jeebies, especially for me, which is, we'll be providing some information about this in the coming weeks, about the gifting event. For now, I will say there are changes to this year's event. The changes that I kind of think that Kabam are going to do is go away from that you have to be uncollected and the time frame, which was like your account had to be opened up last year, or kind of like at a certain point. It's probably going to be a case that I would have, as I said, like I recommended a little bit while ago, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that, to open up an account, which at least gave people a good chunk of months to what was November of 2021. That was your minimum requirement to open up an account to then use for the purpose of gifting. Okay, so what could be this, and hazard a guess? I get a feeling Kabam might kind of like go down the route of like a more kind of increased titleage. That's number one. But number two, there could be something else to this. And there's something else, the second part to what Kabam got cooked up, could be quite scary. But I think it's important to think about this now and kind of like guess Kabam might be kind of like on the move for stuff. And that's the thing, trying to guess Kabam is a very, very difficult game. But if you can guess 2 steps ahead, but at least 1 step gets taken away from you, you still have that kind of like extra step to kind of prepare. Either way, players are hazarding a guess on this, and there's no official line from Kabam on it. Just kind of like scroll through some of this. There's nothing from Kabam, nothing, especially going to further pages, no response. And on the particular subject, I will have a lot to say, especially if there's certain things. Like the worry is always, because some of these kind of 6-star shards and high kind of like threshold resources, like tier 6 basics, tier 3 alphas, are going into the hands of like very kind of like baby accounts. It does create a lot of imbalance in cases, but at the same time, that's what is kind of exciting, has been here for, well, which will be 8 years. Like that is going to be the biggest thing. Changing something like this so drastically could be a bit of a red flag. Also, the extent of if it's going to be something, as a few players have theorized, that it could be uncollected, level 60, and the account would be 1 year old. It does present some more issues with it as to like, okay, well, creating new accounts in the future. And also kind of like the fun about, you know, starting a new account, or kind of like having new players come to the game and being able to be involved with it. Like that kind of like has to be very careful as to how much you cut off new players having that little bit of involvement from stuff, which I think is another kind of element as well. But I'll dissect this once I know the 100% accurate information. Other than that, there's no point me kind of theorizing anything until we know what the damage is. And we're still going to be, as Kabam Jack says, weeks away from having that particular understanding of what the damage is and how we kind of work around it, number one, and try and put a positive spin on that. And number two, is it as bad to comment on? But we'll have to kind of see when that information drops. And the final bit of coverage we've got today is all about the Sam Wilson and Galan Arena results with a sigh. And predictions for round 2 though, with a sigh. The reason we let out a little sigh is because of the extent of the cutoff. Now, if you remember last week, I did a prediction for Galan of 280 mil. I don't like it when it goes to that, and this is the new reality that we've got to put up with Marvel Contest of Champions. But it is what it is. So if you followed my prediction of 280 mil, congratulations, you've got yourself a Galan of fun. A Galan of fun. Any case, right, down to the results. We'll go over Cat Wilson first. Again, predictions I did last week were right. But 77 mil got position 54. They got the 6-star, 24 mil, position 170. So we're getting to that 5-star territory. 15 mil as well, we find position 438. And then a few other kind of little bits for the shards there. The 6 mil for 6 to 10%. And then 11 to 30% with a 4.4 mil, which is just like the milestone endpoint in any case. So that's good. But when it comes to Galan, and I thought the Cat Wilson was a little bit higher, but it could even case that when we get like full results close to 100, it could be like, you know, close to about 60 something, which I think is fair. But, you know, we've got to be realistic here if you want the champion on the round 2. We'll go with the predictions in a minute. Galan, this is the arena. 277 mil, position 99. New standard, I think, sadly, with new champions coming in. It is a very sought after champion, especially from what it can do for as a herald, and it does do a lot of spicy big damage. It's not a huge prestige because I think Quicksilver's higher than him, so I'm surprised but not surprised at the same time. We'll have to see how the kind of champion progresses. 75 mil got position 199, so you can really see that 75, like that position. There's 100 positions there, and that's 200 million points difference. Just goes to show you, my friends. 62 mil for position 289, 442 with 55, 54 mil, 54.6 mil with 454, and then 53.5 mil position 475. 20 mil for the 1% to 5%, 12 mil for 11 to 30%. So predictions wise for round 2, which we do focus on the champions, I'm going with something similar to what I did with the round 1 prediction, 280 mil for Galan, although I kind of feel people might be feeling quite annoyed and stung, so that could drop a bit, so do be warned about a potential drop for round 2. 55 mil for Galan as a 5-star, again that kind of falls in line with the, you know, what we're seeing here with the results. Cat Wilson, 6-star, 75 mil. We don't really have the info to kind of like triangulate if this is going to be, you know, a lot less. You know, the 75 mil mark, it could be a case that, you know, 70, 68 mil could be what it is. And then we've got 15 mil for the 5-star, which again falls in line with the 438 position. Those are my predictions, and those have been the results for that particular arena. We just end by saying thank you very much to those that support the channel as a YouTube member and as a patron who are on screen right now. Thank you very much for keeping the love and support. Also, those that support on twitch.tv/RichTheMan live. You're on screen right now. If you've got Amazon Prime, give a free Twitch sub. I will see you later on for a live stream or tomorrow, depending on a few things. I may be out, not quite sure. But in any case, look forward to seeing you in a live stream very soon, and hopefully a YouTube stream tomorrow. And also check out some other content which will be located on screen right now. I'll see you in the next video, whenever that will be. Have a lovely day, whatever you're doing. Have a lovely week too, and there'll be more news and information coming soon. Bye bye.